Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of China Q&A. You guys asked me a bunch of questions on Facebook a while back, and I'm going to use this video to try and to answer them. James wants to know, when looking for a job in China, is it better to use a recruitment agency or is it better to contact schools directly? In my opinion, it is absolutely 100%, it's not even a question really, contacting schools directly is better. I'm going to just publicly say that 99% of recruitment agencies and recruiters themselves are scum. They're not people you want to work with. And oftentimes, because they take a little extra money from schools under the table to say, hey, just send someone our school's way. And it doesn't matter if their school is good or if it's bad. The motivation for them is money. They are paid to find jobs for you. So just cut out the middleman and search for schools yourself. Look for ESL jobs boards, and you'll likely be able to contact schools directly through their international office or through someone who works for the school, not for a third party. Matthew wants to know, what's the most interesting thing to do in Tianjin? I'm really happy you asked, actually, because I've been working really hard on some videos that I've been calling what to do. And these videos, I'm basically taking you through all the stuff that you can do in Tianjin. And I'll be putting one out every week and a half or 2 weeks. So stay on the lookout for that, Matt. Freddie's asking a question about dating. How will my love life be affected as an American going to China? Does race matter when it comes to this? This question is a little bit difficult to answer because on one hand, you are going to be a foreigner in China, and that is going to help you tremendously in meeting people, men and women alike. People see a foreigner and they think, you know, oh, it's exotic or it's interesting. And so on one hand, there will be more opportunities for you to date here. But on the other hand, foreigners have a reputation here for being really sleazy and promiscuous, and that reputation is not entirely undeserved. I've met way too many people, particularly Americans and like Eastern Europeans, who just sleep their way through China. I mean, if that's what you're into, I mean, that's your choice, but that is, you will be fulfilling the stereotype. And as a result of that stereotype, some people will be less open to going out with you. There was a girl I was trying to date when I was living in Gansu. Gansu's a more traditional place. We were talking about it, and she talked to her dad about the possibility of us dating, and her dad just openly just said, no Americans, no foreigners, because, you know, foreigners are bad and stuff like that. He was very, very unwilling to accept that. So obviously that relationship didn't happen. And that kind of thing can happen to foreigners. So it's like you will have more opportunities, but you also have less opportunities. It's really interesting how that dynamic, what that dynamic is like in China. Jason is asking some stuff about studying. What's the biggest difference between the way that college students in the USA study and the way that college students in China study? I remember I made a video a couple years ago, or was it, I don't remember when. It was about Chinese education. And it was pretty critical, and I got so much hate for that video, but I consider what I say to be perfectly true. But I will say that the biggest difference is, like, when you go outside, particularly in the morning, you will see so many Chinese students standing outside with their books, and they're reading, and they are reciting, and they are memorizing, and they are just trying to cram every bit of information into their head. And you'll see them in empty classrooms doing the same thing, reading and cramming and memorizing and all of that. And on the whole, I think that's the biggest difference. Chinese education is much more about memorizing, and it's much more about cramming every bit of information into your head. Whereas I think American education is more about understanding the concepts and how to apply them, and not necessarily memorizing everything. And that affects the way that people study. I'm not saying one is better than the other, I'm just noting the difference. This guy, or girl, I don't know who it is asking about pollution. Am I not bothered by pollution? The thing is, pollution is a fact of life, whether you like it or not. So if you are coming to China, that is just something you are going to have to deal with. Some places are better than others, some days are better than others, some seasons are better than others. It's not like this all the time. Like you see behind me, you can see there's quite a lot of haze in the air, and that's because it's fall, or, well, I suppose it's winter, and all of China is going to pretty much look like this. Well, I mean, Tianjin's a bit more serious than other places. If you go to the south, the pollution is much, much less than somewhere like in the north, northwest, or the northeast. The south is going to be much better, and if you're dealing with pollution, you can simply just go out and buy some masks. You can buy these masks. You can see it's called 3M is the brand right here. And I'm not gonna open it up. I haven't opened it yet. You may look like a serial killer, but it'll pretty much protect you from the pollution. Yesterday, we had a perfectly blue sky. It was awesome. There were no clouds. It was wonderful. But then today, we've got weather like this, and you know, that's not wonderful. That's not great. And I think that's just fairly normal in China. You'll have some days that are great and some days that just aren't. You just gotta weigh the pros and cons. You gotta think, you know, breathing in some pollution every day, wearing a mask, is it worth all the stuff that I'm gonna see? And for me, it's absolutely yes, 100%. Living in China has given me a new lease on life. I got to start over. I got a life do-over when I came to China. And I'm loving every minute that I'm here. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of China Q&A. If you like, you can go to my Facebook page, ask me some more questions. I'll put them in another video. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment and all that jazz. And I will see you next time.